TGR News, broadcasting from the State of Israel.
Welcome back to TGR News.
Shalom, shalom from Israel.
I tell you what, we'll start this one off a little different. I'm going to ask a favor from you. What I want you to do is I want you to find a favorite video that you've seen on our channel, the TGR channel, the Golden Report channel, whether it's a news video or one of the commentary travel videos, and send it to about 10 of your friends who you think would enjoy this kind of content on YouTube. And hopefully we could grow a little bit. I'm gonna do it. You're gonna do it. We'll all do it. Well, Corona's back in the news.
Corona is going to be around for a while. We thought we got rid of it in Israel, but in some places in the world, it ain't never left.
Oh, yeah. But I'm talking about it's back in the news here in Israel. You know, it's been over. It's done and over. But Benit now is making masks mandatory. They're already mandatory masks in schools, any kind of medical clinics, and in the airport. It's mandatory for everyone, period. And he's pretty soon he's bringing back the mandatory mask for everyone inside buildings everywhere.
You know, I just don't believe the people in Israel are going to go for it. We were in Jerusalem earlier today, Joe and I was, and it was crowded. And I mean, people were just back to normal. I mean, just matter of fact, over normal. There was like the traffic, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
And none of these people are going to want to put that mask back on.
No, especially when there's no reason.
Yeah.
Another thing is up until just recently, Israel has been very clear about vaccinating the children. And Israel has said, the official statement from the government, to the parents in Israel was, do not vaccinate your kids because there's no reason to. But now it's all of a sudden it's changed. Now they're pushing to have your kids vaccinated.
It's insane. It's insane. The whole world's upside down, Joel.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I don't know whether it's my age or what, but I can't understand so much going on in America and Israel. And it seems like most of the insanity having to do with politics and morals and family and things of that nature. The biggest places being attacked the hardest is America and Israel. Yeah. And I think that's interesting that they're also called, the Americans is known as the Christian nation, right? And Israel, the Jewish nation.
Yep.
It's interesting that in the book in the Quran, that book that the Muslims call holy, they say that their enemies are the people of the book. Yep. Jews and Christians. So where is the force coming from? It's spiritual. Yeah. It's very spiritual, and it doesn't look like there's a lot we can do about it except pray and be thankful that Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, is there. In case you don't know him, you should.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, another thing is Bennett's also told us not to fly. Told the Israelis, do not fly unless it's mandatory, and then mandatory even said it's best if you don't fly anyway. And the last thing he's doing is anyone who has a kid. Now this is getting complicated. Anyone who has a kid and the kid was in contact with someone who was in contact with someone that had corona, the parent gets a 5,000 shekel fine if the kid is out and about walking around in the streets.
And that's not a little fine.
5,000, that's a lot of money. It's about what, $1,700.
Yeah. Oh, it's so sad. It really is sad. I don't know what's going to happen. This whole thing is so upside down.
Yeah. Another thing Bennett's done this week, he's made a deal with Biden where now every move that Israel wants to make is military-wise, every move, and especially any move that has to deal with Iran, we have to run it by Biden's administration first and get the okay, and then we're allowed to do it.
Yeah, you know how that's going to fly with Biden's relationship with the Ayatollahs.
Yeah, I don't know why Bennett did it.
Listen, I wish I could sit here and explain why he did it or how he did it. I could also would like to explain to myself how he fooled me, because I thought he was going to be a good guy. But let's just think about it now. We talked about this a little bit in an earlier program. But here's a guy that had 4 or 5% of the vote of Israel, right? Yeah. And he's the prime minister, and the prime minister that had 30 votes, 30 seats. And he's in the opposition. Yeah. There's something strange about it. It's almost like in America. I remember when Biden, no one thought Biden would ever be the candidate for the Democratic Party, and especially not Harris, but Kamala Harris. She had only 1% of the vote. That's why she dropped out of the presidential race. So it means that the person that's only one heartbeat away from the president of the United States, he only has 1% of the vote to be president of the United States in the whole country. Now that's insane, and why we just keep, I don't understand why people are not out on the streets. I really don't. I'm not exciting anything, but I mean it's time for the people that the silent majority not to be silent anymore.
Biden wanted to open up a new Palestinian embassy in Jerusalem now. An embassy for Palestine, or actually not an embassy, a consulate in East Jerusalem. But because Trump had moved the U.S. embassy to Jerusalem and recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, he can't do it now.
If you have an embassy in the city, you don't need a consulate in the same city. Consulates are for places outside of that city or country or whatever.
Yeah, but it was for Palestine, and that's why he can't do it, because there's already an Israeli embassy in the city. Ibrahim Arisi is the new president, was just elected last week, of Iran. He's known for having very extreme ideas, and he's worse actually than the president before him, and he is very outwardly speaking against America, Israel, and everything. And he's considered really worse than what there was before.
Before we had Ahmadinejad, right?
Yeah.
And he was outspoken about Israel going to be wiped off of the map. Well, this guy is like the mentor for Ahmadinejad. You know?
Absolutely.
And in the meantime, we got Biden for our good friend in America. So we feel real secure here.
Real safe here, yeah.
Yeah.
And then now we can't even make any moves on him without getting Biden's permission now because of what Benit did.
What happened to the word sovereignty? You know?
Yeah.
You know, if I'm not mistaken, the United Nations said that this land belongs to Israel, right?
Absolutely. Another thing Benit did this week as well is he's offered Mansour Abbas, which is the head of the United Arab Party, the Ministry of Housing, which the Ministry of Housing here in Israel is the office that overlooks the permits for where you can build and not build new housing. You know, I wonder where he's going to give permits to build and who he's not.
Yeah. And for those of you who didn't see the video that Joe made with his friend General Alon, you have to go back and see that, because just as soon as Benit got in, the first thing that happened is the general found out he wasn't on the right side of Benit, or Benit's on the wrong side of him, or however you want to put it. But he's making it more difficult than the Bedouins and the Islamic Muslims in that area.
Absolutely, yeah. He's making it a lot worse. They went and took his generator away, so he won't have electricity. And another thing is we've been here many years. And we always, we watch the news, and we have our little sitcoms we like to watch and everything, especially me and Ola. And another thing that just recently happened, and it's amazing, never, ever, not once in the history of Israeli television was there ever anything new or done on or for during the Shabbat on TV, like any major TV shows or movies. It's always been reruns, because the Shabbats is not, religious people can't watch on Shabbat, so they don't put the new stuff out on Shabbat. This weekend is the first weekend in the history of Israeli television where a new series is starting up, and it's starting up on Friday night during Shabbat.
And the real danger in this is trimming away at the Jewishness of Israel.
Slowly. Sounds like nothing. Sounds like we're not talking about much, but it's a big step.
It really is a big step. It's like on television now. Every time we hear somebody's putting a program together, they want to always include the Democrats, the Republicans, the whites, the blacks, the Latinos, and the homosexuals. But they'll say the sexual,
whatever it is.
It's like they just throw in a little extra on you. The world's gone crazy.
It really has gone crazy. Well, don't forget what we said about in the beginning of the video. It would help us out. Send out your favorite video, whatever it might be, to 5 or 10 of your friends, and see if they would like it. Tell them to subscribe and like and everything. So until next week, don't forget to join us on thegoldenreport.com.
Shalom, shalom, Shabbat shalom from Israel.